there was the minute silence also for Dani Carvajal's grandmother. Here we can see the player injured and unavailable today.
Yeah, Xabi Alonso had Uchotoren as a coach, of course, at Liverpool and with the national side. And there is no one single person in the world of football that will have a bad word to say about Ochoto. He was a friend. He actually pushed goalkeepers in a new way. A lot of his analysis and his way of coaching had to do with reactions to what happens on the pitch, not so much as just kicking the ball and getting blood and sweat and mud. But that is all in the last few days has all been recognised by all those that he worked with. He will be greatly missed.
Well, the game gets underway at the Santiago Bernabeu. And it's Valencia in their away strip who stunned Real Madrid last season here with a very late goal by Uoduro, who's on the bench this evening.
On Real Madrid, it's interesting that there's only one change from the Clásicos, Mastantuono playing instead of Camavinga. Camavinga did really well as almost like right winger. And Mastantuono, though, must have been sad to miss such a game, but Camavinga did a job that perhaps Mastantuono wasn't able to do, defending and attacking. But let me share with you something we've heard from Carlos Corberán, the manager of Valencia, talking about Real Madrid. That explains very well what's happened at Real Madrid. He says it's a team that is very well rounded, tries to control the opponents better through attacking. It means that obviously still takes advantage of the players' qualities like their verticality and directness, but he has added composure to the play, allowing it to attack with more passes, which makes it much harder for rivals to hit Real Madrid on the counter, because they can finish attacks, and if they don't, they're there to actually get the ball back. And that's the new Real Madrid. To do that, you have to be collective, you have to work hard, and everybody's got to do the job. So that's what's happening under Xabi Alonso. Everybody thinks the same way. And even if they come off script a little bit, like Vini did in the Clásico, he was with Bellingham, one of the best players. He was replaced in 72, he didn't like it. He said, I want to leave this team now. And then apologized publicly after 2 days without training. Just twisted his ankle cooler there. 2 days of not training after the Clásico. Apologized after the first training session on the Wednesday, and the apologies he forgot to actually mention the manager. Forgot in inverted commas. So Xabi Alonso knows how to deal with these things. He's put water in the fire, and says that everything is forgotten, and he puts him in the lineup. So to see Vini today in the lineup was one of the question marks that we weren't sure what was going to happen. And let's see if Arda Güler can recover, otherwise Camavinga's getting ready.
Well, one way or the other, Xabi Alonso is definitely getting something right at Real Madrid. It's been their best start in 33 years to La Liga, with 9 wins and 1 defeat. It seems like they haven't hit 5th gear yet, so worrying message for all the other contenders in the competition. It's Valencia in possession now with Pepelu. One change made by them from the team that lost the derby against Villarreal. Santa Maria coming in for Javi Guerra. Here's Danjuma.
5 games without a win for Valencia, 2 points out of 15 in the relegation zone. It's his worst run since taking over for Corberán. There's a lot of things that are going on. The team is just not firing. They're not playing well. They're not controlling what happens on the pitch. They haven't had a single game this season where they truly dominated or even play well, really. Always at the mercy of its opponent. The midfield isn't working. Javi Guerra, which you just mentioned, is not in the team, badly out of form. The team lacks intensity. They don't pressure as hungry as they used to. They don't recover as often as they used to. They cannot win duels. There's not a true holding midfielder. Inside the changing rooms there are tensions, and I could go into detail, but basically harmony is not a some harmony mentioned by Carlos Corberán in the interview before the game, how important it is to go from one season to the other and harmony to be still watered and looked after. That has disappeared a little bit. Away from home, the things are worse. So they haven't. The last win on the road was against Las Palmas in April of last season. And the exits of Mosquera and Barrenechea just have not been properly replaced. The biggest frustration is after the players that came in, sorry for this long speech, but just to put things in context, is that after the signings it just did look like, based on the names of the players that were coming and what had happened the previous season.
Wow, is Kylian Mbappe's through on goal. And the shot has been deflected, so it will be a corner.
It's just the impression that the people had is that Europe was potentially a possibility. Forget it. Now it's all about not to be relegated, and Carlos Corberán is going the same shape, pattern as most of the managers in recent times. Starts on a high, perhaps down a downer, and let's see if he can turn that around. He will not be sacked. I'll explain that later, but the club still trusts him to turn things around.
So worrying times for Valencia. A couple of seasons where they've been circling the drain, and they need to defend this corner here. Valverde on the edge of the box. Oh, I don't think Zavala spotted the shot until it flew past his post. Valverde was yet to score this season. It's also true that he's been employed more as a right back than as an attacking midfielder. That was clean contact from one of the best strikers of a ball in the whole of the continent. And this is the chance that Kylian Mbappe had. It was the outstretched leg of Copete which deflected that shot.
Lovely pass from Arda Güler, who's got a special relationship with Mbappe on and off the pitch. He sees him always since the run and seems to calculate and pass, with the right timing and the right weight. And Mbappe's loving that kind of service he's getting from the Turkish player.
It's Carreras. Chouameni lets the ball run. Hausen.
As you can see, Real Madrid submits you by just keeping the ball and drags you deep. And if a team leaves space in behind, you'll see Bellingham doing this more often. You'll see Mbappe trying that. Vini as well. Everybody knows now through training, this is not just intuition now, the decision of the player, that making those runs is absolutely essential between the full back and the centre back, and being found, of course, but there's enough quality for that service to be accurate. So difficult game for Valencia. They will try to take the venom out of Real Madrid in the first few minutes and hope for the best.
You see the run there from Bellingham. It does feel like Xabi Alonso has found the best structure or system of play to really truly unlock that potential of Jude Bellingham, and for him to feel comfortable on the pitch, which we feel it's been a while since we saw the best Bellingham at Real Madrid.
I think both minds, Xavi's and Bellingham's, had to be found in a common ground somewhere. Xavi's about positional football, roles and obligations of the players. Bellingham wants the freedom to actually move around, but now he knows that less is more. That to actually have a part of the pitch that's his and to work in that area. Not only will actually help him with Real Madrid, but will help him with England, because Tuchel is asking him the same kind of thing. You don't need to be everywhere. You don't need to drop deep and get the ball and be the most important player. There's a lot of other players that can help you. So I think you're going to see him simplifying his game, but still making things that he's very, very good at, like those runs in behind that we see earlier.
Bills won the ball back as Mastantuono is holding his ankle and he's back up on his feet. Santa Maria. Seemed like an impossible run for him deep into the Real Madrid half, but he was completely isolated. Militao.
Of course, Valencia came last season with Carlos Corberán and beat Real Madrid. It's a bit of a freak of a game, but yes, they did that for the first time in, I think it was 17 years. The hope is to repeat at least the same performance. There was a lot of running done that day, and when they got a chance, they took it to win. No one expects them to get the 3 points, but at least he wants to see his team, Carlos Corberán, his team, to actually give.
Now they'll look to finish off the move. Mbappe. Did Vini come back from an offside position? Well, the move continues as Thierry finds Dan Juma, who is completely unmarked. Alson needs to get back, and he's done enough to slow down the threat, and he's given it away to Jude Bellingham. Now Vini, end-to-end stuff. Mbappe waits for the run from Vini. Kopete, for the second time in this game, with a decisive last-ditch challenge.
I was looking at Vinicius making the run once he gave the ball to Mbappe, and he ended up on his own in the box. How could he, Santa Maria, for instance, who was the one following his run, how could he forget to keep being close to Vini? But he almost had the opportunity to finish that action. Perhaps almost any top side does, both with and without the ball. They work with intensity and with a plan, with an idea, and Real Madrid certainly have got that.
All work for Tárrega. It's going to be a difficult afternoon, you sense, for him and Kopete.
Yeah, but Tárrega, keep an eye on him and his career. I think he will aim for big things. He will be one of the centre-backs that Spain will use regularly, still growing. But that Mbappe-Tárrega battle today will be one that will determine a little bit how people perceive the young centre-back.
23 years of age, this Tárrega. They've got more defending to do here. Bellingham goes one way, then the other. Shot at the near post, parried away by Aguirre Zabala, who's had quite a bit of work in these opening 30 minutes. A lot of it has come down that left flank, as tends to be the case with Real Madrid.
That's it. Valencia don't keep the ball for long enough, which is a bad sign, especially when Real Madrid have got the hanger to recover it and the ability to convert that into dangerous attack.
Valverde switching play for Vini. Perfectly weighted ball. This time Diego Lopez tracking back to block the cross of Carreras.
That's it. The ball switches from the right to the left at the moment that Vinicius controls it, or is thinking what to do with it. You've got Carreras running in front of him. You've got Mastantuono getting into the box. You've got both Bellingham and Mbappe ready for the ball coming in. It's a very, very awake Real Madrid.
Came off the hand of Tárrega.
And Tárrega, who's got it on the shoulder of Correa. There's the handball, I think, that we're looking for. That angle they gave us doesn't.
That's probably why it's taken a while, isn't it? Because there's no real clear angle where you're saying, I can see exactly where the ball struck.
And it is true that the header could have actually gone in, or at least would have required a save from the goalkeeper, because it seemed well directed, but deflected by somebody. Could even be an arm.
This is generally pretty concerning for the team defending when the referee comes across. And there'll be a lot of fingers crossed for Valencia, but let's see what the outcome is.
I was going to ask you, what do you prefer? Referee going walking slowly into the screen or fast? He's done both.
But I don't think it strikes that right hand of Tárrega. That's the one that's...
It could be the left,
I think it's the left. It comes off the left arm.
Or is it the shoulder of Correa
hits him there.
Yeah.
On the I'm telling you where, people can't see me, but yeah, hits him on the hits him on the left arm.
Yes.
But is that arm outstretched? Is it blocking? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not in the natural, is it? It's out there.
There's a penalty.
There was a penalty given against them last week against Villarreal, where they felt hard done by. This one probably feels a little bit clearer.
Yeah, it is clearer, but also if you want to avoid this to happen, accidents to happen in the box, there is other ways, like attacking, keeping the ball. It's consequences of Real Madrid just having already.
No mistake, Kylian Mbappe, the golden boot presented today to the Santiago Bernabeu, and he's on his way to try and claim another golden boot this season. That's 12 in La Liga for the Flying Frenchman.
There's not much more to say about the penalty. It is a consequence of the football that Real Madrid were producing, but perhaps we should start talking about what Valencia do now. There is throughout the team a lack of confidence in the structure. There's a lack of idea that I think they will want another goal. Mbappe will want another goal. Vinicius will want to continue stats that prove that he's at the best start of his career with Real Madrid, start of a season. Bellingham will want to score after scoring 2 in 2. So it's what Valencia does now and what Corberán does now to actually try to avoid what it could be a demolition of Real Madrid.
Well, that was one of the questions asked him in the pre-game press conference, was the game against Barcelona, 6-0.
Yeah.
Is that something that affects you in the build-up to this game? Is that something that's on the players' minds? Well, it feels early on 1-0, and with the way that Valencia are playing, the way that Real Madrid are playing, they're going to have to do something to steer away from that kind of a scoreline today.
He's still got authority, whatever happens. I mean, we're talking like Valencia lose badly. Perhaps is what we expect. We will see. Football is funny. But the way Real Madrid are playing at the moment, be a bad prediction, and that's my forward to say that I don't think they're going to get rid of him. They signed him for 3 years. The board, the team, the club have already paid off Baraja, had 1.5 years left, and they paid him off. So there's been a cost. Plus they had to pay via clause to West Brom to bring Corberán as well. The fans don't want him out. They haven't shown that. And obviously he's still got credit after saving them last season. It's not that game to sack him, whatever happens with Real Madrid, unless the defeat is just humiliating. He's close to the new CEO, Ron Gurley, who appointed Corberán at West Brom and knows what he can do. He's a very, very good coach. He just got to perhaps Carlos himself build new bridges with the team, try to get them to performance with more confidence, and trying to find the harmony that seems to have been lost.
It's turning into a very lopsided game in terms of the possession. Real Madrid consistently moving the ball around inside Valencia's half. Guler. Stantuono. Now Valverde. Mbappe flicked it towards an area where he thought teammates would have been waiting for the ball.
Surprisingly, Real Madrid have only got 57% possession. It's just what they've done with it that makes us think that the domination and the control is total. Because when Valencia have it, they have it in their own half. They haven't added much in the last third, and unless they do a little bit of that, unless they stretch Real Madrid, it could be a very long night.
Nani Carvajal looking on from the stands. Another injury for him after his recovery from that lengthy knee injury. Both he, Alaba and Rudiger are out injured. Andre Lunin suspended after the fracas after full time in the game against Barcelona. Tchouaméni. Revivez looking to unleash Kylian Mbappe. And there is Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's also had his injury concerns this season, and good for him to be back and available.
The only right back they've got at the moment with Carvajal injury. That was another thing coming out of the Clásico. Pedri, Carvajal both injured. The case of Carvajal is worse. He's going to be out for maybe 8 weeks, yeah. So it's an opportunity for Trent to claim the place. He hadn't impressed yet, but he's stubborn, he's intelligent, he will adapt. Hadn't happened, but he hasn't got the breath of Carvajal on his neck, but he will have to just fight with Valverde. Not particularly happy in that position, but will do a job, of course, to actually be the right back that Real Madrid needs. I think Trent will adapt. It may take a while, whatever it takes. He will be such a great addition for Real Madrid, despite the fact that Liverpool fans would like that not to happen. And of course, at Anfield, Liverpool Real Madrid
next week. Big game. Liverpool maybe not heading into that game at their finest hour. Real Madrid brimming with confidence after defeating Barca. And so far looking impressive in these opening 25 minutes.
By the way, have you heard any whistling in the direction of Vinny?
I've listened to some minor whistles when he was on the ball early on, but
when Xavi Alonso appears in the screen.
But there doesn't seem to be.
You know, this is the perfect medicine of win, isn't it? Especially a win at the Clásico. Whatever happens, it doesn't become a big drama for long.
Vinny headed away by Santa Maria. Given away to Howson.
It's very rare that the Real Madrid game now is box-to-box football. Very controlled when they have the ball, and when they don't, they become it pretty early.
Mastantuono. There through the legs, finding Jude Bellingham. Great use of the body. He put the ball into the right place. Get another bite of the cherry, Mastantuono. His cross takes a deflection. Thierry boots it into the sky. Now Rioja with not too many options available to him, but he's done very well to come away and find Pepelu.
Pepelu has thought, if we run at Real Madrid, we probably will lose the ball. We won't be well structured. Better to slow down and then attack structurally as a team. That's what they train, to play this way. So he's responded to the demands of the manager there. Possession is increasing now to 64%.
Valence starting to tilt in favour of Real Madrid. Mbappe to Vinny.
So Valencia, but yeah, that's what many passes of people that can pass the ball accurately and fast. When the team like Real Madrid does that, it's very difficult to not defend as they do it on the edge of the box. Look at the two lines of defenders.
Rioja again has made something of the possession, but it's a difficult game, isn't it, for Beltran, for Danjuma, for Rioja. You see them picking up the ball with so much field in front of them and no options.
Beltran, who's the centre forward next to Danjuma, and they defending 40 meters from the edge of the box.
Beltran loses out to Guller.
There was one game in which Unai Emery was the coach of Valencia. They were playing against Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu, and they were losing 3-0 at half-time. And he shouted, "You all dead. You come out to the pitch and you all dead. You don't move. I've never lost more than like 5-6-0 ever in my life, and it won't happen. So you all play dead when it comes on the pitch. Sometimes it's about not losing badly. And you start to think that with 1-0, Real Madrid still dominating, so much to go, Valencia not risking a lot. You have to have in the back of your mind, you don't want to lose badly. Perhaps there's a little bit of that. Or 1-0 with 10 minutes to go still gives you an option, but there's a lot to ask for.
Well, the sense of the game is completely on the terms of Real Madrid. It's this area of the field in which they're inflicting most pain. Bellingham. Valverde. Deflection. Iraola had to keep his eye on it. Comfortably saved by the former Athletic Club goalkeeper, who, amidst the limited playing time behind Unai Simon, opted for this move to Valencia. There is Beltran getting the most that he probably could out of that situation.
Yeah, Beltran is good at, he's a 9, can be at 10.5 or 9.5. He can just drop a little bit deep and link up, but his main asset is to score goals, even though he hasn't been a prolific goal scorer in his career. He's only 24 on loan from Fiorentina.
And he's found Danjuma here. Danjuma turning. There's no space for the shot. Space it out wide to Rioja. It's a heavy cross from him, but it will be kept in play by Gaia. Good service from him at the near post. Headed away by Militao.
Okay. Got a game on. If they did a little bit more of that, even if it's not effective, just to make Real Madrid believe that there is a rival, that it's not about, as we've been saying, not being defeated badly. And that goes via meeting the wingers, the ball to them, finding Beltran in between the lines, Danjuma making runs. Collective answer to what's happening to stretch Real Madrid, and especially at the build-up, to be able, as Rioja has done, Pelu and Santa Maria, just to be able to get the ball out.
Thought he was going to control the ball. He ended up volleying, and he's scoring goals for fun. It's 2-0 for Real Madrid. It's 2 goals for Kylian Mbappe. It's just that sense in this game that when they want to, they've got the capability of scoring. It's 2-0. It's a very, very long way to go now for Valencia.
Yeah, if after half a chance, when you start thinking, all right, maybe something going on here, and you know, if we do this again, this is Valencia thinking. Then of course, 3-4 passes later, actually what there is, Güler with the ball, and Mbappe in the right place. And them linking up accurately. I mean, it's a big gap being left there on the right-hand side of the defence.
Well, it's that left-hand side, which has been a headache all evening long for Valencia. All too easy to find that space for Arda Güler. And it's goal Real Madrid.
It's another assist for Güler to Mbappe. I think Güler had 5 or 6 assists, 5 of them to Mbappe. This would be the 6th. There's a good relationship there between Güler, who Xabi Alonso would like him to be a midfielder as well as a 10 and as an assistant. At the moment he's doing everything. He needs to improve on his defensive work in the big games, but offensively he just adds a lot to it.
Put away by Valence, and another player we were talking earlier about, Bellingham. Arda Güler seems that Xabi Alonso's found a way of untapping the potential that maybe Ancelotti wasn't capable of finding, or Arda Güler has maybe progressed over the summer, one way or the other. Obstruction given against Jude Bellingham.
Joined the league is 5 assists for Arda Güler. All of them are passes to Mbappe.
Well, most assists are going to be Poor Mbappe, aren't they, with 13 goals to his name.
Yeah.
But almost close to half of them have been for the Turkish midfielder. Kopete. Gaya. It's a low percentage ball from him. Wilson battles away to win it back for Real Madrid. Vini. Carreras. One on the other flank is stood there with his arm in the air, just reminding his teammates that he's also here.
He should get ready for a cross from the left.
Guler. Slapped over the shirt from Thierry, which the referee decided not to punish. Irrezabala floats the ball to Gaya. That was a good first time pass from him. Diego Lopez. And he managed to see Danjuma.
Yeah, but look at Real Madrid have track back. There's already more, especially more white shirts and the yellow and red shirts in that pitch. They are very, very focused and concentrated.
Forced a mistake out of Santa Maria. Now it's Chouameni with a, or Vini rather, with the bursting run forward. He's got support from Carreras. Valverde. Fans were encouraging him to shoot. Bellingham. No foul from Diego Lopez. Beltran. Rioja busting a gut to join him on the right, and there will be a yellow card for that challenge on the Argentinian. Chouameni picks up the first booking of the game. Rioja. Valencia yet to test Courtois. Diego Lopez on Mastantuono. Taken quickly. Again, he looked to that left-hand side. Carreras.
It's incredible to think that Mbappe has scored 44 goals in his first 45 games in La Liga, which is one more than Cristiano Ronaldo. So he's matching Cristiano's stats in a long period. If he continues like this, yes, history in the making.
You could argue that we didn't see the best Mbappe in his first season at Real Madrid.
No,
and still,
but neither you did of Cristiano Ronaldo when he had an ankle injury in the first 3 months of his first season. But yeah, then he started correcting his ways. The only one that has got a better stat than that, 44 in 44. Do you want to guess?
Or Sanchez?
Puskas.
Oh,
yeah,
of course.
Further back.
Got to go properly back. Mastantuono. No shot from him. Valverde. He was licking his lips at the prospect of smashing that ball into the top corner, but surprisingly for him, completely scuffed his shot.
That's the right back, isn't it? Is that the right back in that position?
That'll be encouraging for Trent as well to see what kind of positions he can get into.
Correct.
Vini, it's been a nightmare for Thierry. Hard work down that flank. So Militao chests it back towards the Valencia box, and it's overplayed. Jude Bellingham.
It was the right thing to do. That would have meant if you had held the ball, that there was like 6 players of Real Madrid ready for that cross. They're having fun. They're enjoying themselves. They are in the flow. They beat Barcelona. Every game they played is a victory, apart from the, now it looks like very odd, defeat against Atletico Madrid 5-2, which there it is the stats really, they're one of the best defenses in La Liga, but they conceded 5 in one game.
Targa, positive run forward. Diego Lopez. Challenge from Valverde.
That was the right back. It's everywhere.
Such a useful player, Valverde.
It's a good point you just made there, because do you imagine Trent being in that position to finish that action and also in that position to tackle the forward? That's what he's got to aspire to, I think.
He's definitely going to have a lot of attacking to do for Real Madrid, which is generally what Trent prefers doing. Thierry. Down by Hoyson. And that's passed over to Carlos Corberán, who will be preparing his half-time team talk.
Shots of Valencia. 0. Shots on target. Obviously 0.
It's out.
6 for Real Madrid, 3 on target.
It's been maybe as one-sided as you'd expect, as the table suggests also.
And these stats, if these stats are correct, I'm looking at only 2 fouls committed by Valencia in the whole game.
Well, it's the same pattern of play all the time, isn't it? If it's not Carreras, it's Vini or Bellingham or Mbappe, but it's getting down that left-hand side, in behind Thierry.